It's been a few weeks since I did a video. I've kind of had a struggle. I know the last video was a struggle, but I got to go back to work, and that was good. So I felt better that way. But there were some things that weren't necessarily told me what to expect. And maybe they don't happen all the time, but there were some things that I thought I'd share with you of some things that you can or can't expect that you need. I know that when they told me they were doing the lumpectomy, they said, oh, it's just a simple one. It's a really small spot. So it's going to be just a little bit larger than the biopsy. And I thought, no big deal, man. The biopsy, they put a Band-Aid on it, and it's all good. But I did tell them, I said, do whatever you need to get rid of it, okay? If you have to take the whole thing, take the whole thing. I don't care, just get rid of it. So they had my okay to do what they needed to. They still say that it was a small spot, 3 millimeter. But when I woke up, it was 2 large incisions. There was one about 2 inches and one about 2.5 inches. It was a small spot that was a stage 1 cancer. And then there were, I guess, 3 precancerous spots around it or something like that. So they took some tissue. They did a lumpectomy to check out the lump, not a lumpectomy, the lymph nodes. They took 3 lymph nodes, but those were all negative, so that's good. But they took them, and that kind of makes it under your arm hurts some more. That was what bothered me the most, is under the arm. It really did. When I moved my arm, I had just went to therapy for my neck, and I would do my neck exercises, and when I went my neck exercises like this, I could feel it under my arm, and I'm like going, oh, that's not good. So just to know that your muscles are all put together, and that when they do the lumpectomy, that they are messing with the muscles, so that's going to have to heal. So that's something I hadn't thought of. Also, there's a thing called a seroma, and a seroma is a fluid-filled pocket that comes and fills the spot that they took the tissue out of. It's common. I didn't know it was common until all of a sudden, after surgery, I have this little bit of a concave breast. We're all good, right? Well, all of a sudden, the one with the surgery is bigger than the other one. I'm going, and it hurts. It's uncomfortable. It's just, I feel like I have to walk around holding it up. And so I went back to the doctor, and they checked it out, and yeah, it was a seroma, and they said we could leave it or drain it. And I go, please drain it, because it hurts. They got 180 cc's out of it. They said, we'll come back in 2 weeks, and we'll check it again. Well, by a week later, it was hurting really bad again. So I went back in a week later. They got 200 cc's out of it. Okay, so, and then I was supposed to go back in 2 weeks. Well, my husband hadn't been able to talk to the doctor. And one thing, I forget that my family has more concerns than I do. And so he had some questions for the doctor. And he's a truck driver, so he's not always in town. So I asked if I could have an appointment on that Friday, because the Monday would have been 2 weeks. And he wasn't in the office on Friday, so we had to do it on Wednesday, I think. And so we went in, and he said, well, how's the, he answered my husband's questions, and then he's like, well, how's the seroma doing? And I said, well, I think it's better. I mean, I feel like it's bigger, but it's not pain like it was. He's like, well, do you want us to drain it? And I said, oh, you can check it. So they checked it, and they drained it. It was 210 cc's. So this is the 4th week. And I'm going, okay, so I looked it up, and it's supposed to resolve itself between three or 4 weeks. And so Yeah, my body, it takes longer. It just does. That's just my body. Just so you know, though, that a seroma is possible. They said it's, I lost it. I'm sorry. It's very common. Yeah, it's very common in this type of thing because it's your body putting something back where the tissue was taken. So anyway, that's something that I didn't know. That would have been nice to know ahead of time to know what to look for. And for the bra, I thought I got good supportive bras. I really did. I went and I tried to find one and I found some. So we bought 2 more. So I had 3 new bras that were supposed to help. Well, you don't know where the incision's going to be. And the bras that gave the better support, the underarm went right where the incision for the lymph nodes went. And it was very painful. So what do? So I had to go to this place called Bella Forma to get fitted for a bra, to get a pretty expensive. They were $50 a piece to get one. So just before, it's smart to go and get fitted, but you don't know how much they're going to take, so you don't know. Yeah, anyway, so just get a good bra. That's all I say. Because it makes a difference, because I think that I wouldn't have had as bad of problems with the seroma had it been lifted more and supported more. I think it's kind of like a compression thing. And another thing I would have liked to have had more information on is radiation. Now, sometimes they just want to do radiation after you have a lumpectomy. That's just what they want to do. But really research it, because it's not always necessary. I'm not telling you what to do, okay? But I said I wasn't going to do anything. And then my husband and I had always talked about that if we ever got cancer, we wouldn't do chemo or radiation. We just wouldn't, because he lost his first wife to cancer, and he saw all the struggles that particular treatment caused. And so I wasn't going to do anything. Well, when it comes down to it, then it's like, oh, should I not? And my husband's like, well, maybe check it out, because I want you around, and my daughter was like, Mom, you got to do something. You're being selfish, And so I went to the oncologist and, told him my concerns. And he's like, oh, medicine has come so far in the last 30 years, and you're not doing chemo. That's what makes people sick. And radiation is more pinpointed, because they've been able to do it better. And I'm so thankful that they have all these things to do for higher stages. For me, it was overwhelming. He says, I highly recommend, because you had 3 other precancerous around it, I highly recommend you get radiation. He says, now I can't make you, but I have had people come back, and then I have to fix what they could have avoided. And so I'm feeling this big guilt trip, that I have to do this. And I'm come home, and I'm just heavy inside, thinking 5 days a week for 5 weeks. And how is it going to affect my body? Am I going to be able to work? How am I going to get to and from? I mean, maybe I could drive myself, but maybe not. I don't know. And it's, 20, 30 miles away, and just all these things were just overwhelming, and I just felt this heaviness on me. And I really prayed. And James 1, it talks about, being joyful in trials. And I have memorized James, a lot of in the book of James. But I did not find the correlation between the first part, James 1, and then the part about wisdom. It seems like he's like skipping around. But then I just heard a sermon on how that James 1 says, "Consider it pure joy, my brethren, when you face trials of many kinds, knowing that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. And perseverance, when it has finished its work, will help you be mature and complete, not lacking anything." Then it goes on, "But if you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives liberally to all without finding fault, and it will be given to him." And that sermon that I heard was putting those two together. That when you're in trials, if you ask for wisdom, and God will give it. And I felt like such a burden lifted off of me. I don't have to have radiation. I don't feel it's necessary. With my body, I have lung problems. I have stomach issues. I mean, that week I was waking up choking on my own vomit, and then it goes into my lungs and it burns, and I have to cough and cough and cough to cough the vomit out of my lungs, and it's just, and so to have radiation near my lungs, near my stomach, probably not wise for me. Even though they pinpointed, it still affects things. And so I just felt such a blessing. And so when the radiation person called the next day, and they said, "We called to set up an appointment," I says, "No, thank you." I said, "I really appreciate all that you do, but at this point in time, I have taken all the information that I've gotten, and I prayed about it, and I really feel that I need to concentrate on the other health issues in my life. And right now, they got the cancer. It's all good. We're done." And so they said, fine. They understood. Then I got a call from the oncologist. And they said, "Okay, we understand that you're not going to do the radiation, so you need to come in and talk about the pill." And I said, "No, thank you." I said, "My stomach is already so bad. I need not to put any other thing in there that's going to make it worse." And she was kind of taken aback, and I felt so relieved after I did that. So relieved. It was just, I felt like dancing for joy. I did. And so I'm not telling you that don't take radiation, because radiation has its place. It really does. But pray about it. When you're going through a trial, pray about it. And God will give a wisdom that's beyond our understanding. And then he'll give you a peace to go along with that wisdom. And so then that's part of my husband wanting to talk to the doctor. So he went, and when we went for the seroma thing, talked to the doctor, and the doctor explained. He says, "I think she's okay." Because he's like, "She's not going to die like in 6 months." And he's like, "No." It was very small, and it was stage 1. We got it all. Okay. Yes, she needs to follow up with a mammogram every year. But he says radiation has its place. But in stages like she has, 95% of people do not have reoccurrence. Only 5% have reoccurrence. And out of that 5% that have a reoccurrence, Those who get radiation, 50%, it cures. Okay, so 2.5% of people it works for. Okay, so as long as she follows up, as long as, you know, we are proactive, she's all good. And so it felt good that I wasn't just off my rocker. So those are some of the things that I wanted to share with you. Research radiation and what you need to do. You know, is it stage 1, 2, 3, or 4? Okay, if it's stage 4, you got a little more to worry about. Okay, is it in the ducts? Is it the DCIS, the ductal cancer? Is it not? How is that all working? Is it in the lymph nodes? Now that would have been a whole different story. And then the seroma. The seromas are common, and sometimes you have to have it drained, sometimes you don't. It depends on how large a spot or how large the breast is. And then the bra, get a good bra, and that's soft under your arms, because that's where it rubs a lot. Anyway, so I hope that I encouraged you some and helped you. And good luck on your journey. Have a great day. Let's pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much that you do give us wisdom, and you do give us peace, and you give us your word to lead and guide us. I pray that you would be with my friends, and that you would help them in their journey, and that they would be able to trust in you in all things. In your name, amen.